Alright guys, so I know that this video is all about my sensitivity and your sensitivity and what your sensitivity should be compared to mine, but I think you guys might find it interesting and see why it's important to know what sensitivity you should be going for and why that should be different from mine or any other YouTubers. So this is my current controller. I'll get back to this in a bit, but it's super simple. There's nothing fancy in it. There's no scuff paddles or anything at the back. It does, however, have trigger stops that I made by myself. I'll remember to get back to this at the end of it. This was the controller, the PS4 controller that I had just before I started using this one. So this is new. This is like 2 months old, I think. And this is the one that I've had ever since day one when I bought my PlayStation 4 controller back in the US. My PlayStation 4 console back in the US, and I had this controller with it. So I sent this in to someone on eBay who was doing a scuff servicing for a controller, and it cost me like 60 bucks, I think. So as you can see, I have the scuff paddles in here, and these things lasted me all the way until like the past 2 months. And what went wrong in the past 2 months? I'm trying to remember. I think what happened was this R2 trigger stopped functioning properly, or R1 stopped functioning properly, and maybe one or two small other things stopped functioning properly. So that was it. But besides that, so I think this has lasted me about 2 years. So it's not bad at all for like the stock controller and only a $60 modification. It lasted me for 2 years. So the scuff paddles are really useful. I wonder if they click anymore. Okay, so this one's still clicking. This one doesn't make a sound, but it clicks. Like it used to work in game. I used to use this one. This is for X and this is for circle. I used to use this in Destiny all the time. Besides that, is there anything else about this controller? It's a pretty simple controller. I removed this the R2 trigger because I wanted to model my new controllers, stock controllers. What the fuck is it? Trigger stops because of that. So I removed this for that reason. One more thing. Yeah. So where is it? Okay, I removed these screws, and these are the screws that I put in this one. So that's it. So I did take this one apart. The reason this looks disgusting right now is because I took this one apart, and it's just been lying like this after that. Because it's a little disappointing. I wasn't able to put this back together again, even though I have dismantled PS3 controllers prior to this, and I put them back together again. Okay, I do like the bling bling a little bit, just a little bit, not too much, but I do like the bullet buttons. I don't know why. I just like these a lot more than the plain non-fancy triangle X square ones, but I just like this one a lot more. So yeah, I think that's all about this controller. This one lasted me a long time. Faithful controller. I used to love this one. This was my PS3 controller, just like this one. It was super faithful. I don't remember who made this one for me. I think Gaming Mods or something similar. I think I got this made online and I had it shipped to me. I don't even remember. Maybe it cost me like 200 bucks, maybe 250, but I just don't remember exactly how much it cost me. But this never stopped working. It never stopped functioning. So this the PS button was you used to keep changing colors. The D-pad used to keep changing colors. There are like tiny colors and lights on the inside. I wonder if I can focus on it. Okay, I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's like tiny lights that keep changing colors on the inside. That was pretty cool. So I have this thing called the Squid Grip, and this is like the Squid Grip sticker right here, SG Squid Grip. I think I had one for the PS4 as well, but I don't think that they were that useful. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure if I like them or not. I just don't remember that. No, I think I had them, and then I removed them and I had to take apart the controller. But they were good. They weren't bad at all, actually. Yeah, I had to custom fit them because of the scuff at the back, because these are supposed to like fit around your entire controller. So if the scuff is supposed to be right here, I had to cut my scuff grips out, squid grips out. I remember that. So this is what my PS3 controller used to look like. I'm pretty sure this lasted me for like 2.5 to 3 years. So 250 bucks spent for playing for 3 years. Not bad at all in my opinion. This used to be an LED light as well. It used to keep changing colors as well. I had this trigger stop thing. I can use this in any other PS3 controller. You can just take it off and then put it back in. These things are called like real triggers, I think. This thing was pretty cool. I used to absolutely love this controller. Absolutely, I fucking adored this controller. It never stopped functioning for me. I had to move on from this onto a PS4 controller just because the PS4 did not accept a PS3 controller's input. PS3s used to accept the PS4s, but PS4s did not accept the PS3s, at least not back then. Alright, so now let's get back to my own controller. It's pretty simple, pretty safe. Nothing's being done on it. Except for the trigger stops at the back. I made these trigger stops by myself. So I'll show you what I actually screwed this up the first time that I was making this. Let me try and I wonder if I can focus this again or not. Focus. Alright, so the one on the right side, I screwed this one up, and therefore I had to make another one right here, the left one where the screw actually is. So one of the tips for you guys is if you want to use the semi-autos like the Para, the Metler, the FAL, or any other gun in any other game as well that requires you to keep on clicking, if you can get a trigger stop, you can aim in as well faster with this one. So you just need to press this much to aim. Don't need to press it all the way in to aim. And the same thing for this. So it says click, 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 and you can keep shooting. So that's one thing if you want to go and do it yourself. This trick took me like 30 seconds to make. I just heated a screwdriver and made the hole, and then I just put the screw in. Or if you want to really switch the controller up completely, you could just, if you want to have a faster fire rate on any of your semi-auto guns, you can switch to L1 and R1. But most of us don't really want to switch now that we've already adapted to this scheme, so I just suggest using a trigger stop. I think it's much easier. So that's a tiny tip right there. Alright, here's where the entire fucking video actually comes in. So as you can see, back on the PS3 as well, I used to have a Kontrol Freak. This is how a Kontrol Freak basically looks. I'll try and make another video on how the Kontrol Freak is all of the latest Kontrol Freaks are a big scam, and why I still use a Kontrol Freak and what it should be useful for. So this is how a basic Kontrol Freak looks. And this is I have these rubber grippers on top, because if you don't know, the PS4 build quality for the joysticks is really bad. If you just Google it just a little bit, you'll find every single PS4 joystick has been broken. So I need this thing. I've had this thing since day one. I applied the exact same thing on top of the Kontrol Freak. So I have a Kontrol Freak, and I put this exactly on top of that. Now I want you guys to see this. It's only this much of a movement when I don't have a Kontrol Freak, right? And the same thing. It's a much bigger movement, much more distance that I cover on a Kontrol Freak. It's a very tiny distance without a Kontrol Freak. It's a much larger distance with a Kontrol Freak. Now this, I'm going to start making pictures and try and explain to you why sensitivities are different, and specifically why a sensitivity or a Kontrol Freak would or would not help you in terms of drag scoping and drag shooting with the sniper, which is where this whole sensitivity thing really comes in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part. I hope you guys enjoyed the controllers. I still have these. I still don't want to throw them out just because of nostalgia reasons and stuff. But yeah, so I'll see you guys in the video again. Alright guys, so the age-old question and the answer: what sensitivity do you use, and what sensitivity should I be using? So here are the camera controls. As you can see, my sensitivity is 8. I don't have any changes in horizontal, vertical. My acceleration speed and ramp power scale are 10 and 5. I have never changed these. These have been the default numbers that they've always been. I've never actually changed them. My camera sensitivity used to be 6 for the longest time, but right now it's a 7, and I'm adapting to a 7 as well. I do not have camera assist on. If you keep this on, you'll find your game actually gets really fucked up, because the camera can, like, it automatically tries to readjust and goes back to mid. So now these are my settings, but I'll tell you why these things are not important for you. I've already shown you the fact that I have a Kontrol Freak. Right off the bat, the fact that I have a Kontrol Freak makes all of these sensitivities, if it's an 8 on my screen, it's probably a 5 or a 6 for you if you do not have a Kontrol Freak. That's how a Kontrol Freak works. Alright, now without trying to make this sound way too complex than it actually is, I still want you guys to understand the science behind this. So the little black oval thing, circle thing at the bottom is the bottom of your joystick. The solid black semicircle or oval is the top of your normal joystick, the top of the normal joystick. And just for illustration purposes, the very top, the red, is actually the top of the Kontrol Freak. Now obviously this is for illustration purposes, because the real Kontrol Freak isn't going to be like 5 or 6 times the size of the normal joystick. But just for illustration purposes, I'm making it that long so that you guys can get the idea. Now the black quadrant of the semicircle, or the black perimeter as it shows, and it as it is labeled, is basically how much movement the joystick is going to make without a control freak, right? It's a very small circle. It's a very small quadrant of that circle. The same thing for the control freak, or the red perimeter, is actually much larger. Now, if both of these have to move to 45 degrees to the right or 90 degrees to the right to cover the entire quadrant, the black joystick is going to have to move very little, and it's going to cover very little distance in terms of the perimeter. Again, if you guys don't know this, I'll get into the math. The perimeter of a circle is 2 pi r. R is the radius, and r is the radius, is the height of the joystick. So the height of the joystick is going to increase if you have a control freak, because it's going to be the height of the joystick plus the control freak. So the r is going to increase, so the 2 pi r is going to increase as well. If you don't understand that, then just look at the picture and try and understand. The smaller circle, you have to move a lesser distance to get to 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. And for the bigger circle, you have to move a lot more of a distance to get to 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. Now, where this comes in useful is the fact that when someone's really far away on screen in a game, you don't want to have to move your joystick too much to be able to hit them and still be on target. Like, they might make finer movements and finer adjustments to their position, and you barely have to touch and barely have to move your joystick on top of the control freak to stay on target, but not move too far away. That's where the control freak comes in. It helps you be a little extra careful and a little bit extra sensitive in the fact that you can make bigger movements, but the movements on screen will be less. So you can make a little bit bigger movements and make bigger human errors on the joystick, but movement on the screen will be less, because the movement on the screen is dictated by the joystick, by the control freak added to the joystick. I hope that's being made clear to you guys. At the same time, however, if you want to move completely across, you can move really fast across the joystick with the control freak attached, and you will be much faster, and you will cover the entire distance as well. I understand that might be a little bit complex to understand, so try and listen to that twice, look at the pictures again, and just try and understand what it is that I'm saying. Sorry. So your question is, how do I find a sensitivity for me? Basically, you understand the advantages and disadvantages of different sensitivities. So at 0 sensitivity, it's a lot easier to stay on target, as you can see in front of you right now. But at the same time, at a 0 sensitivity, it's almost impossible to track someone that's literally right in front of you. You will not be able to get on target on that person. At this point, I don't even down him myself. It's the card that downs him. At a high sensitivity, or a sensitivity of 10, it's super easy to track someone that's right next to you or really close to you. But at the same time, it's really hard to track someone that's really far away from you. Once again, at a super low sensitivity, someone's running across you on the screen, you will not be able to track him. That's a disadvantage of a low sensitivity. At the same time, that's an advantage for a super high sensitivity, because you can easily track down the person in front of you. So you want to find a sensitivity that has a balance, and it's midway between both of them, that you're able to stay on target for someone that's really far away, but at the same time you are able to track someone down that runs up right in your face, and you are able to down him as well. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys learned something new. If you did, please do remember to like, and please do remember to share this video. We only recently hit 4,000 subscribers, and we're already at 4,250. I haven't asked you guys to share a video in a really long time, and that actually helps a lot with a recent influx of subscribers. So if you did like it, please do make sure to share it on your gaming Facebook, Reddit, social network, gaming network, whatever the heck you have, your WhatsApps, your phones, any other groups that you might have. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. It makes everything a lot more controllable. It makes everything it just makes everything a lot more sensitive, I guess, but not in the way that sensitivity is going to increase, but that it's just going to be a lot more, it's going to be a lot more sensitive to increase. Okay, I don't really know where I'm going for this.